Hey, we're on our last video until we get to mixing. So this will be the termination of our production and writing for this song. So let's get to the outro. Let's wrap it up and let's be proud of ourselves. So we have our high chop. You guys can see I labeled this. So as I do pretty much all these sections, we've talked about it a million times. I have my outro. I have it broken up into 4 bars. Then I have these cut and end pieces. So we'll talk about that in a second. That pertains to the stereo output, how we kind of want this song bounced out as one big audio file at the end of, when we get ready for mastering. So we want to take our high chop. I decided that at the end of the drop, I want to hear this high chop again. I really, really like it. I think it's going to make for an awesome outro piece. So we'll click and drag, copy and paste, same thing, same pattern right here. Now, what I changed about this high chop during the outro is I increased the reverb. I automated the reverb. So when this part hits, we hear this high chop. It's going to keep going, but we're going to kind of drown it into the background to create that kind of outro effect. So if we have our drop, second half of the drop, we'll take it halfway through. If we just listen back. Okay. So you kind of get the idea. I know we hear these other instruments. Don't worry about that for a second. So what we want to do is we're going to go ahead, pull up our automation table, press A, and we're going to put a reverb automation on our high chop right here. So I know you guys can see it down on the rid track. So if you can use that too, that's fine. So how we do this, again, we went over this, but make sure you're up on mix and you have auto select automation parameter in read mode, just a quick refresher, quick review. We're going to go to our high chop track. We're going to click on Chromaverb, the plugin. We're going to click on wet. Boom. Once we click on wet, you guys can see it highlights right here. It says Chromaverb 53%. That's what we had it at the whole song. So we're going to keep that the same. Once we get to the outro, I want to snap on an automation piece right on bar 81. And then as the song comes to a fade, I decided that I want to increase this reverb. I'm going to bring it up to 77%. So what that does for us, we take just the outro. More and more reverb. It starts to sound like it's further and further away. It's a nice sound. All right, so for our chords, we want to keep that pad synth going. So I'm going to grab it where it hasn't been cut, just so we know we have full bar V2 here. It looks like it's the full thing. So let's click and drag, copy and paste right on the outro here. So now we have our pad synth. It's going to take us to the end. If you guys don't have room in your project, you can click and drag the end project just like we did at the beginning of the project. So it gives you some room to work with, and then we can cut that off later. So we have our pad synth. We're not going to automate it. Then we have our heavy synth. So I want this guy. I want a full bar of this guy. So build 2 through build 2.5, it looks like heavy synth is complete. All the chords are in there. So we're going to copy and paste this, click and drag. Chook. Don't copy for now. So we have our heavy synth is going to carry us out through the end of the track. Now, automation is going to help us with this again. So if we listen back. Really, really beautiful. However, I want my heavy synth to automate all the way out to the end of the song here. And what that's going to do is continue our outro effect. Like everything's just fading away. We're done with the song. So automation table A. And all we're going to do, we already did our automation to finish up the drop here. I want to take this to bar 89. I'm going to put a new node here, new point, 740. I want to drag this all the way down to 20 hertz. So basically this thing completely shuts down. So let's listen back to what this does on the heavy synth. and it's gone. All right, we don't need any bass for the outro, so we're done with our bass. And we don't need any drums for the outro. We're done with our drums. What I do want, I like to make this right here, use our effects to really tie this all together. So we have just really three instruments. We have our vocal chop, pad synth, heavy synth. It's going to take us to the end. So we want to put a downer in there. So we're going to grab our downer. We're going to utilize this. So now we have cool down. And then I love our Vox sweep. We're going to use this. We're going to treat this almost like it's an outro, but it's going to be like a build up into the termination of the song. So we have, and then we're going to rise it back real quick to end it, just shut it all down. So if we put our Vox sweep in here, we can grab that from wherever it's already lined up. We're going to line this up with bar 89 just before it. I have it labeled as cut. So now we have. And I decided I want just one more thing. I want this riser again. But this time, I don't want the riser to be so long. I don't want to put the whole thing in here like a full build up. So we're just going to grab our riser. Since it is cut appropriately, so it's right on that bar 89. What I want to do is line this up with the vocal sweep that we just dropped in. So if we go ahead, click and drag this back, make it shorter. Now we just have this short little riser in here. And terminate. So our very last thing, if you guys caught this, we didn't do the impact. Now, this is going to absolutely shut down our song. This is going to be a sound that indicates we are done. So for our impact, all we have to do is pull that from our file, our FX file. So let's grab that. Here's our impact. We're going to throw it right on bar 89. Boom, just like that. Now, in the previous thing here, I have this end marker. So I have 2 bars of cut information. So again, this is related to the stereo output. So we're going to drag this back, terminate at bar 91. So there's still sound occurring from 89 to 90, but at 91, I want this song. But at bar 91, I want this song to completely shut down. So we can go ahead, grab our fade tool. And let's just make sure, since we cut that impact, let's just make sure we have a little fade on it. So if we take this whole outro. If you guys can't hear that, it's in the lower end. So if we pull up our EQ right here, we just listen to that impact. It's really on the low side. So you're going to hear that with really good headphones or in your car or with AirPods. AirPods are awesome. All right. So that's all the tracks in the song. So the final thing, when we know we're wrapping up, we put our stereo out track in here. So if we haven't done that yet, we're going to go up to track. And we have, it should say show output track. Mine's already in here, so it's giving me the option to hide it. So I'm not going to hide it, but click on show output track. That's going to pop your stereo output in here. So we can automate this just like anything else. So all we have to do is pull this up. And volume is usually one of the parameters that's already set in here. So if you guys just click, then it should line this up like other automations. I want this song to absolutely make no noise by the time we get to 91. So I put an automation point at bar 90. It's at 00. Remember, this is our output track. So this is the entire song. So if we highlighted this real quick and we played drop 1 and then pulled this down as it's playing, we're actually lowering the output of the entire song. So that's our whole song. So when we get to the outro here, so again, let's talk about why I have these labeled this way. We have our outro. I have another 4 bars. Like I said, I like to cut these in half so I know usually, so I would need something different to happen every 4 bars. At our cut, this is more or less the end of the song. You could switch these and cut, whatever. As long as you have something marked that tells you, okay, song is over. We have no more instruments. So this impact is the only thing that's going on bar 89, minus any kind of reverb tails coming from the high chop, things like that. But by the time we get to bar 91, I want the song to completely shut down, no noise. So what that means is when we have our project, I'm going to take this all the way back to this endpoint, which is right on our termination of the audio signal. So if we drop out our automation table, now we can listen to this whole thing. We'll take it all the way here just to the outro, and then it all shuts down. Next song on Spotify. That's it. So that is the end of production and writing for All My Life. You guys should have this entire song in here, all gold tracks, complete with automation. If there's any fades missing, we'll address that during mixing. Because right now, as I play this whole song back, nothing's hitting me too hard. So we'll make sure we clean up all the finite details when we get to mixing. Next time we open up this project for all the mixing videos, I'm going to get rid of these gold tracks and we're going to have all our colors back in here. So if you guys want, go ahead, take your gold tracks and label them in the colors accordingly. So your project matches mine. I know we did that in the very first video. We have red for vocals, green for chords, light blue, blue, and pink. You guys can pick whatever colors you want, but if it makes it easier, definitely label them the same way I have them. So at this point in time, what I like to do is take a break. So if I wrote this song in 24 hours, 48 hours, I've probably been thinking about it. I've been sleeping on it. I've been dreaming about it. Ideas are coming to me while I'm watching TV or taking the dog out, whatever. I want to remove myself from this. So what I'll do is bounce this whole project out and I won't listen to it for like 24 hours or more, maybe sometimes a week. And by the time I come back to it, I want to hear it with fresh ears. I want to hear the production. If there's anything I want to add or tweak at this point in time, once I come back to it, I can go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go ahead, bounce out this project. It's good practice to go ahead, turn your cycle on. So if you turn this yellow bar, you take it all the way to the end, to the cut, and then bring it all the way to the front. We have this pre-section here. You guys can go to File, Bounce, Project or Section, and then this should come up. Now, if you guys are just doing this for listening, if you don't want to take a lot of space on your computer, you can use an MP3. Most times, just out of practice, I'll put it on PCM, which is a WAV file. It can also be an AIFF. You can go ahead and match these settings. If you hit real time, when you hit bounce, the song is going to play back to you. I just like an offline bounce. I'll listen to it later. I don't want to hear it again. Normalize. We want to make sure this is off. Right now, we're in production. We're not mixed yet. Normally, I never have this normalize function off because this is going to bring any levels down in ways we don't want it to be brought down. So we have 24-bit, 41 or 44 100 interleaved. That's pretty much it. We hit OK. We hit bounce, and it'll start to do this. Mine might take longer than yours for various reasons. I'm recording. I also have two projects in here. I have double the projects. We did it twice. But once this is done, wherever you guys saved it, you can grab it. I send it to myself on my phone, so that way I can play it in the car. I can listen to it when I'm at the gym. I can listen to it whenever I feel the need to. So it just comes up as a file, and you can listen back to it, listen to it on different mediums, different speakers. Start thinking about the sound we want to achieve. Start listening to other reference tracks. So For this one, future bass style EDM. It has a big drop, a build up. I love Illenium and other artists and producers that make this kind of similar sound. So I'll be listening to a lot of their tracks and listening to any of the details, or in essence, kind of the sound, the EQ balance. Where is everything sitting? So we'll get into that more during mixing. Anyway, once you guys have this bounced out, send it to your friends, send it to your family. You guys should be super proud of yourself. This was an intense project. If this is your first time being on Logic, very awesome. Very good for you. I commend you for getting all the way to the end. If this is not your first project, this is still a lengthy project. This took a while to teach and go through everything. I hope you guys learned something from this. You should have learned something from this. This is everything I would have wanted to visualize and see and do when I was first starting out. But now you guys have a complete song. So listen to it, enjoy it, be proud of yourself again. And if you guys have any questions, again, DM us on Instagram. We can help you out. Put in the header chill sessions, or tell me the video and the point in which you're confused or you have a question so I can help you super fast. And other than that, again, my name is Nikki. Max is underneath me here right now taking a nap. You guys have a new song. I'll catch you guys during the mixing section of our videos.